If you're thinking about moving to Summerville, South Carolina, you're probably picturing the kind of place where life slows down just a bit. Maybe a big front porch with rocking chairs, sweet tea on a hot afternoon, oak trees with hanging moss, and a downtown that feels like something right out of a Hallmark movie. Well, you're not wrong. Those things really are a part of everyday life here. But what you don't see in the brochures is just as important as what you do. There are some incredible upsides to living in Summerville, but there are also a few things that surprise people after they've unpacked the last of those moving boxes. So if you're relocating from out of state, or if you're just dreaming of a change, I want to give you a real look at what living in Summerville actually feels like. I've helped a lot of people move here over the years, from young families and retirees to remote workers and remote families stationed nearby. Some people fall in love with it instantly. Others have a bit of a culture shock, but every single one of them benefits from knowing both the good and the not so good. So that's what we're going to talk about today. The real pros and cons of living in Summerville, South Carolina. No hype, no heavy sales pitch, just real talk from someone who knows the area and has watched it change. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Deneen. I'm a realtor here in Charleston, South Carolina, and the surrounding low country. As the Southern living Yankee, I love helping people just like you buy and sell homes in the Charleston area. I specialize in helping people relocate to Charleston from out of state because I've been there and I've done it myself. I understand how exciting but still overwhelming a big move can be. But that's why I'm here, to help you every step of the way. If you're ready to make a move, reach out today. You can shoot me a text, send me an email, or even just pick up the phone and call. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and tap that notification bell too. Let's start with the upside because there's really a lot to like. One of the biggest draws for people moving from out of state is the affordability. It's honestly one of the first things that people mention. Whether you're coming from New York, California, Colorado, or even some parts of Florida, the cost of buying a home in Summerville feels like a breath of fresh air. You can often get a newer home with more square footage, a 2-car garage, and even a fenced-in yard for significantly less than what you would spend in Charleston proper or many of the other coastal cities around the country. To put it into perspective, someone moving from Northern Virginia might sell their 17,000 square foot townhouse for $650,000, and then they'll come here and buy a 2,400 square foot single family home on a third of an acre for $450,000 or $500,000. That kind of price difference not only gives you more home, it gives you room in your budget for other things, whether that's travel, savings, or just not stressing as much over your monthly payment. And it's not just home prices. Property taxes in Summerville are generally lower than in many northern states. You'll also find that utilities, services, and even things like car insurance tend to cost less. All of that adds up over time, and it makes the day-to-day cost of living more manageable, especially if you're planning to stay here long term. Next, let's talk about the vibe. Summerville has this charm that's really hard to explain until you experience it. The downtown area feels like a snapshot from the past, but it's not frozen in time. It's alive with these little boutiques, art galleries, antique shops, locally owned restaurants, and you have shaded sidewalks that are perfect for walking the downtown area. There's a real community spirit, and events happen all year long. The Flower Town Festival in the spring is a local favorite. It takes over the town with music, food, art, and flowers, and people from all over the low country show up for it. There are also outdoor concerts, food truck Fridays, farmers markets on Saturdays. It's just one of those places where people show up for each other, and you don't get that everywhere. Despite having a historic downtown and that small town energy, Summerville isn't short on convenience. It's got everything that you would expect in a larger suburb, like grocery stores, gyms, medical facilities, hardware stores, chain restaurants, and some really good local spots too. What's nice is that you don't have to give up your modern conveniences to live in a town with personality. And because it's growing, the variety of options keeps expanding. Whether you want a boutique fitness class, organic produce, or just a really good burger, you can find it here. And another big pro, you're still close to Charleston. Depending on traffic and which part of Summerville you live in, because there are different parts, you're looking at a 30 to 45 minute drive into downtown Charleston. That means that you can enjoy all of the amazing things that Charleston has to offer, like the food scene, the nightlife, the history, the architecture, the festivals, and you can still come home to a quieter, more relaxed place at the end of the day. A lot of people love that balance. You can go have brunch at Pugin's Porch or walk King Street. You can spend the day exploring Charleston Harbor, and you can still be back in your driveway before dinner. For people that work remotely, that proximity is a huge benefit because you're not tied to city prices or congestion. You can live affordably in Summerville, and you can still head downtown on your own terms. For people commuting into the city daily, it does mean having to deal with some traffic, but we'll get into that a bit later. Growth is another thing working in Summerville's favor. Some towns grow too fast and they lose their identity, but Summerville seems to be finding a real balance. New construction is happening in several areas: Cane Bay, Nexton, Carnes Crossroads, Summers Corner. Those are just to name a few. And with those developments come more amenities. There are new shopping centers, restaurants, medical services, even full-scale developments with parks, event spaces, and community pools. If you move here now, you're getting in at a time where there is still value to be had, but you're not so early that you're completely isolated. And I have to mention the lifestyle. If you're raising children, it's easy to see the appeal. There are dozens of neighborhood parks, splash pads, biking trails, rec leagues for soccer and baseball, and a calendar full of community events designed with families in mind. The public libraries are active, local schools host events open to the community, and on any given weekend, you'll find a mix of food trucks, local bands, and kids running around a park while parents chat nearby. It's that kind of a place. People moving here from big cities are often surprised at how friendly everyone is. Neighbors introduce themselves, strangers still hold the door open, and the cashier at the grocery store might actually ask how your day is going and mean it. There's a cultural shift here that some people fall in love with right away. It's not that life is slower, it's that the priorities are different. People here tend to invest in their community, their families, and their weekends. It's a lifestyle choice as much as a housing choice. And when it comes to outdoor living, Summerville doesn't disappoint. We have 4 true seasons here, but winters are mild, so you can be outside comfortably for most of the year. Spring and fall are especially beautiful, and even the summers, while they are hot, they are manageable with the right setup. There are trails for walking and biking, rivers nearby for kayaking, and paddleboarding, and local golf courses if that's your thing. Azalea Park is a favorite for locals. It's got fountains, shady paths, beautiful landscaping, and it feels like a hidden gem. Whether you're a morning walker, a dog owner, or just someone who likes being outside with a coffee, there's plenty to enjoy. Now, let's talk about the not so fun parts, the things that either surprise people after they move here or they wish they had considered more carefully before making the decision. Now, these aren't deal breakers for everyone, but they're important to know so that you can move here with your eyes wide open. Let's go back to that traffic I mentioned. If you ask any longtime Summerville resident what has changed the most in the past 10 years, traffic is usually going to be at the top of their list. The population here has grown a lot, and infrastructure hasn't always kept up at the same pace. The main interstate running between Summerville and Charleston is I-26. And during rush hour, or honestly even during random times of the day, it can get pretty congested. If you're used to back roads or quick 15-minute commutes, this might be a bit of a shock. Some people have a 45-minute to an hour-long commute just to get to the city. Even local roads like Main Street, which is 17A, or Dorchester Road can back up during school drop-off or dinner time. And it's not just the volume. Construction zones, road widening projects, and the constant stream of delivery trucks for all of the new homes being built can really slow things down too. Which brings me to the next point, all of the new construction. Growth really is a double-edged sword. Yes, it means more homes, more options, and more investment into the area, but it also means construction noise, traffic delays, and unfinished neighborhoods. A lot of the newer communities are still works in progress. You might buy a home and live next to a vacant lot for a year. The neighborhood pool might not be open just yet, or that coffee shop that was promised in the developer's brochure, it could be a couple years out. For people who love the idea of new everything, a new home, new appliances, new neighborhoods, this can be exciting. For others, it can feel a bit like you're living on a giant construction site. It's really about your expectations and what stage of life that you're in. Another factor to consider is distance, from the beach specifically. If you're moving to the low country and you are dreaming about beach days every weekend, it is worth knowing that Summerville isn't exactly coastal. You'll still be able to get to the beach, but it's going to be a little bit of a drive. Folly Beach, Sullivan's Island, and Isle of Palms are the most popular spots around here, and on paper, they're about 35 to 45 minutes away, but on a sunny Saturday when everyone else is headed that way, it can easily stretch to over an hour with traffic and parking. So if being near the water is a lifestyle thing for you, not just a once a month treat, you might want to factor that into your decision as well. Now, I want to talk about how spread out Summerville can be. It's not a small town in terms of size. It just feels that way because of the downtown area and the community vibe. But the actual area covered by Summerville and its surrounding neighborhoods is pretty large. Some of the newer developments are quite a ways away from downtown, and not all of them are close to daily conveniences. I've had clients fall in love with a brand new home, beautiful, big backyard, great floor plan, but then they realize that their nearest grocery store is about 20 minutes away and there is nothing walkable nearby. Now, not everyone minds that, but it's still something to consider. If you like walkability, or if you're used to having a cafe and a dry cleaner right down the street, you're going to want to be strategic about where you choose to live. So let's move on to weather. Summers in Summerville are hot. Really hot. If you're moving from somewhere cooler, this can sometimes come as a bit of a shock to your system. July and August especially are heavy, humid months where the heat just hangs in the air. That's why I'm recording this inside. You walk outside and immediately start sweating. The air conditioning will be your best friend. And if you have never owned a dehumidifier before, this might be the right time to look into one. And of course, with the humidity comes bugs, mosquitoes in particular. Most people get their yard sprayed monthly, and they invest in citronella candles, screen porches, or those cool patio fans that double as bug deterrent. It is manageable, but it's a part of life down here. And while we're talking about nature, I should mention hurricane season because it is a real thing. From June to November, you'll hear regular updates about tropical storms and potential hurricanes forming in the Atlantic Ocean. Summerville is a little bit more inland than Charleston, which helps, but we are still in the zone where you need to be prepared. That means stocking up on bottled water, having an evacuation plan just in case, and staying on top of weather alert. Most years it is just precautionary, but every few years we will get a storm that gets close enough that we need to pay attention to it. Now let's talk about schools. Education can be a huge factor for families, and the good news is that some parts of Summerville are zoned to very strong schools, especially in the Dorchester District 2 area. But here's the thing, school quality can vary a lot depending on your specific address. Even within Summerville, some neighborhoods are assigned to different school districts, and test scores, class sizes, and parent reviews can all look very different depending on where you land. So if schools are a top priority, I strongly recommend researching them before you pick a home. You need to look at the ratings, visit if you can, and check school zoning maps because they don't always match what you see in real estate listings. Another challenge some newcomers face is the lack of public transportation. Summerville, like most suburban areas in the South, is very car dependent. There's no light rail system and bus routes are limited. Most people drive everywhere, from school drop-off and grocery runs to commuting and date night. For people moving from major metro areas with great public transit, this can be a big adjustment. You will definitely want to budget for a vehicle and factor in gas and maintenance as part of your monthly expenses. Summerville is affordable, charming, and full of potential. It offers more house for your money, a walkable downtown, and easy access to Charleston. It's family friendly, community focused, and growing in ways that make life better each year. But it also has growing pain. Traffic is real. Some neighborhoods feel a little bit disconnected. The beach isn't as close as some people think. Summers are hot. Bugs are annoying, and not every school or neighborhood fits every lifestyle. The key is knowing what matters most to you and making your decision with both the benefit and the trade-offs in mind. And if you're still trying to figure out where to land in the Charleston area, go ahead and check out my video on the top suburbs of Charleston. I break down how Summerville compares to other popular areas like Mount Pleasant, Goose Creek, James Island, and West Ashley. In it, we talk about price, commute times, vibes, schools, and who tends to love each spot. It's the next step to narrowing down your options and finding the best fit for your lifestyle. I'll see you over there. My name is Deneen. I'm a realtor here in Charleston, South Carolina, and the surrounding areas. As the Southern Living Yankee, I love helping people just like you buy and sell homes in the Charleston area. I specialize in helping people relocate to Charleston from out of state because I've been there and I've done it myself. I understand how exciting but still overwhelming a big move can be, but that's why I'm here, to help you every step of the way. If you're ready to make a move, reach out today. You can shoot me a text, send me an email, or even just pick up the phone and call. Thank you so much for joining me. So long for today.